There we go. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today's I've been doing a lot of work, so I was like kind of drained today, and I haven't like the house is half trashed. Like I've been just working, so I'm like I got stuff built up. I'm like the lawn needs to get cut. Like it's all kinds of stuff. It's like starting to be hobo living or something because I've just been like working and doing everything. So I gotta catch up on a lot. And plus, it's just been raining and hot, So it's been like here, it's been not as hot as some places, but it's summertime, so it's there.
Mm.
How have you been doing, Lee?
I think I've been in the same situation as you are today. I'm just not really into anything.
I know
um,
that. Yeah.
Weird. But I did fit out some bathroom flooring this morning, which was from where. Remember, I had the flood.
Yeah.
Um,
How did that get sorted?
yeah, I fixed. I found the problem, fixed that, and then I then had other problems arise from something from a separate flooding issue, which was the washing machine. Just decided to um, basically just leak everywhere. So sorted that out, and then I had to let all the floors dry out.
Yeah.
um, so I had to hardboard and put down some vinyl flooring today, and then I had plans, never done them, and yeah, and faffed. So slept.
Need
Just so I'll be fighting fit for tonight's epic show.
Yeah.
Oh
Just save that energy up. Um,
yeah.
what? Okay, so what number Titan are you on now? Oh, dun dun dun. Still in the box.
Number 100.
Yeah. When are you doing that? Are you doing that on your live stream Saturday or what's your plan?
This is what I planned to do today.
Oh, really?
I was planning to be making it and stuff, and just not in the
See, yeah,
headspace
I
for it.
know. What I maybe it is have to do with the weather and stuff or whatever. For a lot of like been going on, it's like you just I know a couple people not in the zone. You're just like
Mm.
out of it a little bit. It happens. I did whatchamacallit, I had Rob from Mantic Games. I did a Sunday stream. I'm thinking of trying to get a regular Sunday stream in, but I don't know if it'll be every week or every other. Right now, it feels like every week is like maybe just a bit too much, only because I'd have to organize, having other people on like a Sunday. Ours is pretty fluid. And plus, if I do a Sunday one, I'm like, do I really want to be painting over on the stream on a Wednesday and a Sunday? You know what I mean? So I might have to come up with a slightly different shtick for the Sunday. I'm gonna like I have a couple people somewhat lined up, and maybe sometime like they would hobby. You know what I mean? So then, hey, we'll watch them hobby. Maybe I do too, that type of thing. So I'm gonna try to sort a little bit of that for another because I want to get in the habit of it. I'm like, we do our thing, and I really like it. And I'm like, okay, if if I can get the content, I want to build the YouTube too, and so I'm like, and I'm one of those things where I have to do it a lot. Like, even this. We still haven't come up with a name. I didn't come up with any like logo image. I don't know what anything's called. It always switches on YouTube. I'm like, man, I gotta get organized with that stuff. But part of me is like I still want to just practice like this. What makes I'm still not used to YouTube, so I kind of want to know what makes a good show and what I like. So I've been like kind of watching other people's stuff, and
Mm.
there's a lot of good like quality content out there for that stuff. I'm working on a couple cool commissions. I did get to show on the live stream Sunday. I got to show the first piece I was doing for Mantic. So these are Mantic miniatures, and that was one of the ones they got off me. So it's going to be one of the first ones for one of their projects. So I got to show it, and then I do have some more work with them scheduled. So I get to do some more stuff on that. So I've been trying to like read up. That was one of the reasons I had Rob on, was like to ask questions, because I'm like, I was familiar with them, but I didn't know much about, a lot of the game systems and that. So I'm like, oh, I'll have someone on and grill them with a bunch of questions. So that was good. And when the White Dwarf article came out, I got quite a few like requests for commissions and everything. So A, thanks to everyone who's been sharing all that stuff, and B, thanks to the people who like commissioned me, because I appreciate that.
Well, I say, just getting the name out there, pushing you, your I'm trying to think of the word there.
There was some
Pimping you
point.
out.
It's one of those days, man. That's why we have a nice laid back show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just pimping you out across the internet, or across the social medias.
That's so not. Do you probably have a little more experience because you had your YouTube up before, and you've been. How long have you been like Twitter, Instagram, that type of stuff? How long have you been active?
Well, Instagram has been a couple of years. Twitter had a bit of a break. I came away from Twitter,
Yeah.
and then my account got because if you're deactivate for more than 30 days, you lose your account.
Oh.
And somebody else now has my old tag, which is a bit annoying. So when I
Oh
sort of
wow! I didn't know that. I better watch out for that.
yeah, so when I restarted Twitter and my YouTube and all that, I was just putting everything under the Forge of Mars.
Okay.
So that has only been January last year I started that. Um, but yeah, so I just for ages I had very few. I only had about 4 videos up, um,
Yeah.
which are like how to like cheap and easy how to painting guides, and it was I did other content, like other videos as well, but for some reason I was having problems transferring them from my phone where I recorded them
Yeah.
onto a computer. And for some reason, just would not happen. So um, when I decided to do sort of the live stuff, was obviously
Hmm.
after doing these
Yeah.
Wednesday night showdowns, paintovers. I'm thinking of names.
I know. I know. We gotta. I know. Dang it.
We're the nameless show, the show with no name. We ride in on that.
No, it's almost like 20 of these or something. I literally think this was 19, and we did some impromptu ones before that. So it's like, wow, it is kind of crazy how fast time goes.
Yeah, so it's just yeah, it's been a consistent thing to look forward to each week, and it's getting from work. I say obviously I haven't been in today, so
Yeah.
uh, but getting online, watching you do all the hard work, and I just drink beer and
Hey, you do a lot. And then I didn't know you called me out on your show, but you were right because what was it? What was the night I thought was a Titan? What was the name of that night? Do you remember
oh
that?
the Rob's one
Yeah.
the Acastus that was well
Okay.
its class type is an Acastus, or chassis type is Acastus. Its class is the Atreus. It's a
Okay.
Mechanicus or Mechanicum version of the Porphyrion, which has really big, heavy
Yeah.
conversion beam cannons on. And he absolutely loves that. He's been showing that around like everywhere,
Good.
on like Facebook and stuff, and he's so happy with that.
I was surprised too. I seen quite a few people like I didn't know on Twitter or anything, and some of them like would they didn't know who I was obviously because it uses my name in the article, but it doesn't use like Artist Empire. So
Mm.
they would be a couple of them brought up, hey, I was inspired by the article in White Dwarf to try a paint over and stuff, and I was like, wow, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, you don't know how anyone's going to receive anything, you know what I mean? It could be like, oh, dude, we've seen Photoshop a million times, no one gives a shit. But so I was like, it was a pleasant surprise to see some people like just like, hey, I'm going to go for it and try some stuff. So that was pretty cool. I
Rob's turned up in the chat.
oh, there he is. Let
You
me. Oh,
speak his name and he shall appear.
hey, Rob, thanks for coming by.
He's on time for once for a
On
change.
the yeah, it's a little better for you and guys in the UK at this time, probably, but for here, it's like everyone's probably working and doing stuff.
Hmm.
So thanks for making it, Rob. I don't know if I think I did Rob's time lapse somewhere, but I'll put the time lapse up on YouTube shortly. Where is this one? I want to see it again.
We
I'll
all enjoy
rewatch the time lapses sometime and figure out if I look like I know what I'm doing or not. I'm like, does this one look like I know what I'm doing when I'm working on this?
Oh, he's building a Cerastus Knight, which is the class beneath the Acastus class.
Yeah, I think the knights are some of my they are some of my favorites. And obviously I like Titans too because they're almost the same, but there's just a couple little design elements on some of those knights that are incredible. Like
Yeah,
this thing.
the Knights have been around longer than Titans. So
Yeah.
in the Warhammer 40k timeline or whatever.
I love the. I wish they would do it. I'm sure someone tweeted it out, and it made me remember from a long time ago because that's when I was playing. They had the Eldar, basically the knights that looked like horses.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh man, that would still be such a cool one to eventually see him do one of those. Like they had some good concepts on those when they were making those first ones. There was some cool stuff there.
They had one like the Imperium had one on tank tracks. So there's actually a model that's out for Chaos, which is well, I can only remember its like slang name. It's called the Corn Mower. It's
Oh
basically like
yeah.
the body on top of like tank tracks, and it goes around mullering things. But that was a general shape of I think the Night Warden. I think was well, no, actually no, Stella. That was a Night chassis. The Night Warden was quite like dumpy and sort of like hunched
Yeah.
in some respects, sort of thing. But yeah, the old Imperial Knights have been around since 15,000, the year 15,000 on onwards, and then obviously Titans came about later.
They so and Rob says I'm making mine a standard bearer. Banner is almost done. Standard itself is a foot long. Oh gosh, yeah, that's the other thing on these. And I think it was for me. It was when I was a kid. I think it was mostly the movie ran. Yeah, I forget who the director is, but remember it was like a Japanese kind of shogun type movie, and they would all have the flag, so they all had the banners on their back when they like ran and stuff. And so it was like a classic, and I just remember that being younger and seeing some of that, and I love that. And then when I saw Space Marines, they would have all the cool banners and the orcs. I fell in love with the concept of having just these over the top kind of like banners on everything, like and so I love them too on the knights or the titans
Yeah,
too.
the Shogun. I remember that. It was Richard Chamberlain.
Is it?
The dude.
Yeah. Because it was a
Was
movie
it?
it wasn't Kurosawa. He was way before that, but I don't remember. But it was like I think it was the '80s was ran. I'm not sure, and it was. I just remember the scenes with everyone with the big back banners, and they're all lined up. I was like, that is so cool.
Well, that's the thing. Like that sort of pageantry amongst like samurai was again it's symbolizing who they were, who their lord was, and stuff like that sort of thing. Their personal identity and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Blood
So,
Angels Commander, thanks for making it. Do you mind if I show what I'm working on for you on the stream? Let me know.
the Corn Lord of Skulls. Thank you, Rob.
See, I know.
Swooped in and saved the
Resistant
day.
Skulls. I remember that thing.
But yeah, no, say that whole thing, and that's what one of the appeals of Imperial Knights is the whole like knightly thing. That's why, like in not Age of Sigmar, but in the old Warhammer Fantasy, Bretonians, people love Bretonians because it was,
Yeah.
knightly chivalry, and everybody has that sort of
Mm-hmm.
attraction to that sort of thing. Um, so seeing that on Knights and Titans is always going to be like super awesome, because they are super awesome anyway.
So I don't really. There's Blood Angels Commander stopped by, and we don't really. He contacted me about a commission, and so we just briefly talked. You bounce back and forth with messages, and he, I guess he only did his YouTube channel like 8 months or something, right? So he has a YouTube called Blood Angels Commander, and I'm trying to sort a. You got to do the header image, and you know how it has to be like in multiple kind of sizes because it gets cropped
Yeah.
different. So I'm still in this phase where I'm trying to get the main center the best I can because they'll have to be text. I just have mock up text in there for now, but I wanted to do the text and then kind of have it, branch out into the bigger battle scene. But anywho, so it's weird. I don't even really I haven't really talked to him, but I'm like talking about him right now, and he's like watching. But so he has a really cool YouTube channel, and he's like, I've been around 8 months, and I go to his YouTube channel, and so I've probably been YouTubing as long as he has, right? I go to his, he has like 6,000 viewers. And I'm like, wait a second. I have like 600. He's been doing this as long as me. Has like 6,000, and I'm like, why? I'm like, what? Like, what's the? I'm like, how did they get liked so much? I'm like, I get it. His channel was very focused on the Blood Angels, so you know kind of what it's all about when you get there. But then he had really cool uh, uh like battle report type things. So it was like real, with the camera on the table that they would move and watch the action and overhead and all this really cool stuff. And also I don't know. I have to talk to him about this. It was like the craziest breakdown. He was going through army lists, and it was like the quadrant charts where like each point, if it's further out on the circle, it means more is expanded there and stuff. And it was like these breakdown of the army list. So it's like this really intense, like the whole army list and where the points value is going and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't get to watch much of it yet, but I was actually really intrigued, and apparently people like it because it's been 8 months. He has like 6,000 people watching and everything. So that's what I'm trying to sort this, and it takes a lot. These are all pieced together, so these are individual ones. How do I even do this now? I can't remember how to do a time lapse. So I had to like bring them all in and start assembling them all. And so you're like trying to do a puzzle for the composition, and I can get really distracted by wanting a nice big beautiful picture, but the thing is the majority of it is only going to be in that one small center area because mostly everyone watches YouTube on their phone or a device that only shows that sliver, you know what I mean? So it's like you want that little sliver to be really good. Oh, these aren't. He said, "Yeah, they're all my badly painted miniatures." I didn't think that at all. I think they were fine for this.
Yeah, they're looking pretty shit hot for the old Blood Angels.
Yeah, nice color. I like the because they got the red and the gold, so I'm really going to be able to get some of it to pop. You can see here me, I'm just like spazzing out, trying to arrange pieces everywhere.
We're just
And so,
thinking like,
and I still got to put more in. I want to get because now I'm at a point where it's just principle. Like I'm like I don't know how many hours I'm into this thing, but I'm like, all right, it's got to look good now, just because I'm like, you're doing this, and I'm like, okay, I'll try some of this and some of that. So I want to put some more flying units, and I got to bring up like the flame and I highlight everything, but they have the nice gold, so I can do nice gold glows on some stuff. So um, I think overall it's going to be really cool. I got like all the, I'll go in and detail it, and I got to straighten a bunch of stuff out for the ground and all that. But that's what I'm working on for him right now, which should be really cool when it's done. So I was getting excited. I'm trying to fade them. I want to get the depth of the people, but to do it, if you have too many stacked behind, it just becomes like a whole confusing mess. You know what I mean? Because nothing's really standing in front of each other. And like this, I've been able to like I'll do more later, but I fade out some of the one's in the back, and I won't highlight him as much. Like this guy firing the plasma, I'll highlight him more so he pops away from the guys in back. But I'm digging this effect. And so I'm like, I want to stack some more people like in behind and really make it like it's a Blood Angels, army coming. So I'll do a few more things on this one, but I really had a lot of fun on it. Challenging, but it's fun. Hey,
Yeah,
glad you like your Blood Angels, Commander.
yeah, acting. So
And go check out his channel, by the way, because someone figured out to me. He's like, I got all these viewers that are awesome, so and a really cool channel. I'm intrigued, so I'm gonna go check out some of that.
yeah, no, you've mentioned about him on the last couple of shows, I think.
Mm-hmm.
With,
Oh yeah, I did
with
bring up it.
mention in
Yeah.
the internet. But Rob's already signed up. he's already subbed. So he's already on there because he wants, gets inspiration for his heresy Blood Angels.
Yep. Yeah, that's a place I haven't seen much, but it seems like if you want to know something about Blood Angels, go over and check out his channel.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
That's why you get 6,000 subscribers. You know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously doing something right on that. So kudos, man. This one is going to be a commission. Oh, this one's going to be cool. You know what I love? So, in my 40K mind, I want an army of all these. They have a lot of really cool vulture models, like these little vultures, like that one, and this one. And then I want what's the creepy cherub babies. So I want a whole flock of like the birds with, and then creepy cherub babies all floating in, and maybe servitor skulls. Like that's the army. I think that would just look like a tripped out force. If you think about it, though, what's more grimdark than a whole army of like babies coming after you? Like,
I'm actually seeing that. I'm seeing that thing from Toy Story with the Sid's room with the baby with the crab legs.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's a little bit. Yeah. No, that would. But then again, in the grimdark, that's like that's a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Oh, what we got today? Oh, we got babies. Babies. All right, okay. Mutant, medically enhanced babies coming out.
These are
they do like to do that. It was one of the books I've read recently where they have like some child and like the persons were like, oh, it's a kid sort of thing, but this kid's like super intense psycho brain powers, starts like really tearing into people and stuff. So they like to pull your heartstrings and then like annihilate you.
I got and that's the other thing. Blood Angel Commander is probably going to come on one of these live shows. Like when I get the get it done, and then schedule maybe like on a Sunday or whatever day he might be available. I'll try to figure out to have him on because I am curious about that. I haven't talked to him yet, but I gotta figure out the secret to his success.
It's consistency.
It really is. I mean, that's like that's got to be a lot, and his quality is obviously he knows something about what he's doing because like his quality and just like how all that stuff went down looks really cool. Maybe I should work on this one a little more. That's what I'll do. You're on number 100. So what I did do is when I had the Mantic stream, because so now I'm getting more and more supporters on the Patreon, and I'm gonna sort that a bit more. But so I have some supporters on there, and then Mantic, they commissioned me for some work, and I'm like, all right. What I did is it wasn't really a contest; it's more like a rigged contest because Mechanical Frog is someone who, when I was doing a live stream with Mantic, they commented on one of the miniatures and was like, oh, I want to, they liked this one. And so I said, I tell you what, I'll buy it for you. And then we'll kind of celebrate the fact that, hey, I'm getting some Mantic work. And then, on Patreon, I'm like, you guys are all paying monthly money. It's nice to like do something cool. So I bought that for him. And then I'm gonna have him on stream one day to like paint it. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, that'll be a good like a Sunday show. Like you do that, he'll paint the mantic. It's like an earth elemental, but it has these really cool crystals that he liked. So
Mm.
he's gonna like paint some of that on the show, and then hopefully I can not do something on the stream.
You can sit there watching them paint it and go,
Yeah, but well,
no, actually, I prefer that other color.
I don't have the
Can
knowledge.
we try the blue again?
I got to start reading up on everything because, like, it works with you because if I'm working here, you bring good, valuable knowledge. But it's like if you just had me on the show, like, what? I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be very versed in the lore. I'm like, the yellow dudes were fighting the blue dudes.
I think there's a corner in the market for that sort of approach. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, there are newer people who. That's my kind of little bit of hope with like what we do here is that there are people who they're newer to it and all that, so it's like it's just kind of a nice you can catch up on different little things, and it's not like it has a whole you're learning specifically this. It's kind of just meander around the 40K.
Mm.
Oh, psychologist to the Astartes said, good evening all, love the White Dwarf.
Ah,
Thank you, I'm glad you picked it up.
psychologist. Yeah, it hasn't been on for a little while. We've missed you, dude.
He probably lurking. We'll go with lurking.
He's out there. He's alert.
Yeah, I don't which recall so I have to shout out to Crimson because this is literally like he's like I can't make the show today, and it's literally like the first one in like 20 shows that he's missed. So that was shout out to Crimson because that is like a crazy thing that he showed up for all those like all that time. So thank you very much.
Yeah, he always comes on and just like screams Lee on the chat. And
Yeah,
Martin's the great potato mage is now rocked up.
Martin, what's
Hi,
up?
Martin.
And it'll be
Well,
like
coming
Martin.
out tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if he's still dying in the heat or not. I know he's been super hot where he's at.
Was it Germany, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know it's been raining in parts of Germany, so
Yeah. Hopefully it cooled them off a little bit.
bit of thunderstorms and stuff.
Yeah. I
What is
do
everybody
like
doing
angels.
Sorry.
Oh no, go. What were you gonna say?
I was just asking what everyone else is, if anyone else is doing any hobby whilst enjoying the show.
Good question. What are you all? I know some of you are working on something.
What are you wearing?
I didn't say what. We don't need to know that, but
Yeah, I could live to regret that. No, if some of the people that I know is watching this,
especially in the
straight answers.
What's funny is so I have central air where I'm at, right? But like I'm in like a end room, so when the heat is really baking on top of the roof, even if you have central air, it'll get hot. And sometimes I'm just sitting here shirtless and I'll draw. But then with live stream with you, I'm like, even though I have the camera turned off and it's impossible to flick it on, I'm like, put on a shirt, dude, because if some show flicks on or some camera, then you're sitting there all shirtless. Like
Still your Russian prison tats,
Martin said it rained a lot today, very nice and chilled compared to the last few days.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the traffic, yeah. So he said the traffic because he's doing that. He painted a bunch of stuff earlier today, but I'm having a break from painting. Good deal. And psychologist to the Astartes is working on an AOS Storm Vault. What's the Storm Vault one? Huh. I'll have to figure that out later.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't cover AOS.
No.
Yeah, as we all know, I only know one faction of AOS, which is the Ideneth Deepkin, because elves with fish.
Yeah, I've been learning a little more. I like it. What got me caught up a little more with AOS is the White Dwarf a few months back started having some like just like summaries of how everything happened, right? So that
Yeah.
was really good for me because it was just the general overview. And so I was like, oh, okay. And it to me it sounds pretty cool. Like I was like, okay, I get it. Like I love a lot of the old world stuff. You're never gonna like I always miss the whole Bretonians thing and all their kind of look or whatever. But with the relaunch, they have a lot of models and concepts that I like. So it's fine by me.
Hmm. No,
I don't know how
it's
the
sort
game
of reinventing
plays.
it all, isn't it? Really,
What was that?
they're sort of reinventing it all,
Mm-hmm.
um, and making it a little bit more sort of unique compared to being, oh yeah, we're all on one planet, um,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing, which is like basically every sort of fantasy trope out there, every fantasy world,
Yep.
everyone's on one planet and all that sort of thing. Um, but they've gone a bit, I suppose, in a way, they've gone a bit D&D by making it into like
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah, and they kind of changed the look, and obviously with the different, it's not the super what baroque or whatever looks to it. So it has a little more. I don't know if it's shine or I don't know how I would say it, but yeah, it's a little less gritty with a little more shine or whatever on it, and I kind
Mm.
of dig it. So I gotta say I like it.
It's floats your
Oh,
boat.
the storm vault it's the big terrain piece, basically a load of steps and some pillars. So that I know exactly which one you talk about. That is a big terrain piece. I couldn't believe how big it was when I saw it.
Centerpiece for any battlefield.
Yeah. Is
Yes.
this a,
What's that?
if Blood Angel Commander? This doesn't look like an add-on. This looks comes with it, but I never. What is the weapon on this dreadnought? I don't even know. I mean, obviously I know what it is and looks like, but I don't know the specific name. I don't know. I've never seen it before, I don't think.
I know what it is, but I'll let Blood Angel Commander, as you
You
asked.
do know what it is, Lee?
Oh yeah,
What is like a it's a blood angel. I mean, it's halberd. Like what kind of power halberd? Power puncher? Power hole puncher?
it's a it's a force axe because
Okay.
Blood Angels can have librarians in their dreadnoughts and
Oh, so
chaplains
that's
as well.
why.
So they
Oh
have
God, they can. I didn't know that.
yeah. Um, well, it's actually is it Black no, the Black Rage as well, sort of thing, where um, the kit used to have three variants. So you had the Furioso Dreadnought, which is
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
uh, badass, um, and you had this dude, and there was like one for the Death Company as well.
Okay.
So Death Company Dreadnoughts. The Death Company are awesome. I did flirt with the Blood Angels at one stage, and I do actually have some successor chapter I did for Blood Angels using my Space Hulk Terminator Blood Angel
Oh
3,
yeah.
and I went with the Knights of Blood,
All
who
right.
um, who got wiped out in the siege of Bao.
Oh, did
They basically they got deemed to be sort of traitors, but they're not.
okay.
They were too far. Well, they say they were too far gone, but they wasn't. They're very complete in their annihilation of enemies and
Okay.
stuff. So um, they would go super overkill and absolutely destroy.
Gotcha. But it didn't mean that they were necessarily. That was just their style.
No, and although they were sort of like, I think in Shield of Bow, they operated away from the other chapters that had sort of flung themselves back towards Bow to protect it from the Tyranids and Chaos when they attacked. And they operated on their own because it just made everything better for everyone else. But if you think of the Flesh Terrors, but
Yeah.
cranked up to 11, that would be
Okay.
the Knights of Blood. Um, but they basically they knew they weren't going to get out of anything, and they were basically trying to save their you know the spiritual home world of Baal, and so
Yeah.
they fought to the end and went out taking out some big nasty corn demons.
Huh.
So redeemed themselves in a way because they did
Yeah.
get when Guilliman turned up and the Primaris were created. You can actually see a Night of Blood Primaris.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they don't like those big poster sheets or something
Mm-hmm.
with
Yep.
loads of like chapters. So some had been sort of resurrected, and the
Yep.
Knights of Blood was one of them.
I always liked those. Like they just show all the different kinds of Marines all just lined up.
Hmm. But they definitely learned something from the Badab campaign because that was the whole thing about that is that they had like all the Marine chapters that participated in the campaign all painted up on like a poster, and it just looks so cool to have on your wall.
Yeah. I need to get some more of those mechanical frog. Yes, we are staying out of trouble. I just brought you up, so I was just giving you a shout out on my live stream with. We got 5 viewers, so that you should be. I know. Well, he just come here. He says, "Congratulations! I got 666 subscribers today." So that made me laugh. Thank you. Yeah, we should. That'll be a fun one. So I want to try so many things. That's what gets me about all this is like. So I'm gonna do another tutorial vid. Probably I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. Like I want to finish. I want to get this thing done, and so then I'll feel better about doing a vid. I always put like commissions first. Like if someone's gonna do, I'm like, okay, work on all your commissions, get all that done. But then I also know like especially now like I have a little bit of momentum with the white dwarf thing, so I try to get some content out there. And oh my gosh, I get I've been doing this so much that it's like me personally, I just get tired of hearing, oh, paintovers and paint. I'm like, dude, but like I can only tweet about. I'm like, my whole life doesn't revolve around it, but it sort of does. But it's just funny where I'm like, oh my gosh, I keep babbling about it and tweeting it like I get sick of it.
So you got to put the effort in.
Yeah,
You
you
don't get
really
anywhere,
do.
without hard work, and you have been, doing that now for a year and a bit.
I know.
Um,
I was so happy when Mantic contacted me, and so that was the other thing. I'm like, oh, I want to do when I work on this stuff, like especially if a company's going to pay me to do some stuff, I want to like understand their world, see what little things I can get in there. Like I don't want to just do it. I want the fans who are kind of into the game and that stuff to it's like you kind of want to respect that they're into it and they like things, so you want to get to as close to that kind of world as you can. So I've been trying to just read up on some stuff and get more familiar. I knew some of it, but like they got a lot of stuff now. I mean, they got big too. They've been around, what did they say, like 12, 13 years or something. So there's a lot of stuff. Like the hobbying in general seems to be in a good spot as far as like growth and that stuff between 3D printers and game companies and artists and all that stuff.
oh yeah, definitely. There's lots of options for the budding amateur
Yeah.
hobbyist to get their hobby fix with nowadays. So it's just finding the thing that you like and just
Yeah.
embracing going for it.
Mechanical
Um,
Frog, thank you. This is for Blood Angels Commander. I'm trying to do it's his header image for Twitter, so it'll be like mostly that, but on some devices it'll be like this. And I keep messing with the I don't know what this thing is. I know it's not. What is this? So this is new to me. I mean, I've seen it before, but I'm not. What's the thing in the center? It's not a Terminator.
no, it's a Centurion. It's basically a space marine within a exo armored suit, but added punch and devastation. So this one is the close combat variant because you've got those
Okay.
big siege drill things on
Yeah.
his fist. But he's also got those 6 little circles on his chest, are actually bolters. So you've got some
really?
fire power. So yeah, it's basically like a space marine steps up into the suit and it closes around him, and then he goes around
Okay, so I didn't know how
having
that
all the
works. They
traps
got
and everything.
yeah. It seems like I would just walk up to him and push him over, and then he wouldn't be able to stand up. Like some big suits, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, there was initially there was a lot of sort of like, well, where the hell do these come from?
Yeah, yeah, I can see
And
that.
then they have that with everything now. You know, it's like when the like Storm Talon craft came out. So well, this hasn't been around before. And then like
Yeah.
when the Land Raider Crusader turned up, so where's this turned up from? So, and you know, just like they're just adding to the you know the whole thing. You know, it's just a
Well,
new
yeah, they
suit.
gotta keep evolving, and they want to stay around as a company. So I get it. The
Yeah.
only thing I wasn't, and I kind of like them, but I'm just not keen on the idea. And I think because I was so attached to rhinos that when they started doing the rhinos were kind of like between rhinos and titans, it was like the most iconic 40K vehicles to me. And so it was like when they started doing the hover ones, I was like, I don't. That's the only ones I'm just like, I wish those had tracks just for design stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing, though. It's like in um, like Visions of Heresy, there's pictures of the custodies having like a grav rhino.
Yeah.
There's always been mention of grav vehicles. There
Hmm.
was the infamous grav tank that was made out of a shampoo bottle. That was,
Yeah.
which I believe was in my first White Dwarf. But you know, the T-shirt I got with my first White Dwarf artwork, the 120. I think that was actually in that, and it was just like Tony Cottrell just building out
Yeah.
of stuff and bits a grav tank, and they put up rules for it. They also done a saber tank as well, which they've now released in from Forge World. But yeah, I think they went with that for the new Primaris to show that they are like a newer technology, like a step up
Yeah.
from.
Which I kind of I dig that. Like I dig that in concept. It's like okay, you've been around. They've been around a long time now as like a game company. So it's like you can kind of advance the world a little and all that stuff and whatever. I'm sure some people don't like it, some do, but such is life.
Yeah, but the timeline really did need to be pushed because lots of authors had written books that were right at the M42 changeover sort of thing.
Hmm.
And they always said at like seminars that, oh, we'll never be going over M42. Then you go, well, this trilogy of books you've written, sort of thing, you can't continue it because you're right up against the wall. So whether or not it was a concerted effort by the authors of Black Library to try and get the mother company to actually progress the timeline, and they sort of have now, but then they sort of retconned it as well because all the Guy Haley books that like Indomitus and all that,
Yeah.
which was showing how the Goodman had been awoken and then started this massive crusade and all that. Those books have been sort of taken off and rewritten in some respects to pull back into line. So it's not as far ahead as it was.
Oh, hey, so I heard a little bit about that. So yeah, they probably were like, "Oh, it'll be easier if we start from this point or whatever."
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. So that's what they did. They did that.
Yeah. Huh. Catching up on all the lore.
So I'm here.
I know.
Back to Dune and
And
Titans.
I'm gonna have to. That's the other thing. I'm gonna have to read up on. I know I'm gonna end up getting some form of Titans, right? Because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna end up playing that game, and I've always loved it. I'm like, okay, like what I'm here talking to you every day, you get brainwashed, or every Wednesday I get brainwashed.
Yeah, I'm
So
insidious.
yeah, so it's like it just starts. Oh, hey, you want to be on the show? And then I'll start buying Titans and whatever. But and then like Legio, I don't know. I'm not. I don't have any attachment because I didn't read any of that type of stuff a lot to get attached to a legion. You know what I mean? Like Space Wolves, I did because it was just I always like wolves, you know, and the whole Space Marine thing. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, and that was I got into them before it was all lore heavy. You know, it's so different now. Like obviously probably when you started too, you only really got like snippets of lore, so there wasn't like this whole big picture. You would just get little like blurbs of, hey, this was going on and this was going on. And so it's just so much different now that it's all been like compiled and built on and assembled, and you know it's like you're whatever 30 years or 25 years or whatever in the future of every, you know, tons of books came out since then and everything, so it's just at such a different spot, you know.
Yeah, well, the obviously they've fleshed out a few of the legios now. Um, so I was in the latest Adeptus Titanicus book, the Loyalist Legios book. They've actually got a few pages of like background for the legios in there.
Oh, okay.
So we've actually learned a lot more. Like for my one, the Fire Wasps. My main one, the Fire Wasps. You know,
Yeah.
my chosen legion. Who I've been a fan of since the original AT release. There wasn't much information on them at all, and they're like, you know, they've got the main things people knew was that
Mhm.
they are the only legio that are given the honor of protecting the Emperor's throne room. No other Titan legio has that honor because of they defended the Imperial Palace and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was bugger
Yeah.
all else about. You know, there was a little snippet in the mid '90s when they done the Titan, oh, Titan Legions game. Sorry,
Yeah.
and you got another little snippet about that. The Legio had a lot of its Titans blessed by the Emperor before the Great Crusade.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, that's a pretty cool little thing that like, the Emperor's gone around and went like, oh, well, praise you, Mr. Titan, and blessed, given his like blessing and stuff. And you know, the only other book up until like the new AT came out that they featured in was Storm of Iron, really, and what they got mentioned in Mechanicum, like a paragraph in there about what they did during like this big apocalypse thing going off on Mars, and then they
Yeah.
got name dropped, and that's it. Like Mortis in the Heresy, Mortis has been at the forefront of everything. Like Mortis this, Mortis that. Oh look, there's
Yeah.
Mortis over there. And other Titan legions have gotten
Mortis,
more
Mortis, Mortis.
Mortis. So now we've got a few more bits, and to say like in the latest Siege of Terror book, which is called Mortis. There's a lot more sort of like there's characters in there, and you know you can see within the Legio and like the stuff that I read or listened to.
Yeah.
Fantastic! Like there's such a unique look to them, and like their
That's
sort of whole mannerisms. It's
that's got
brilliant.
to be kind of cool. Like you chose it a long time ago, and then to have them kind of flesh it out while you're playing it or into it, that's got to be kind of cool. You know, you see some new stuff come out, and they start developing the lore, and you've been into them for a while and all that. That's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Oh, totally. And I'll say my second favorite Legio, which is Solaria. They also get mentioned in there as well with bits and pieces that happen, which is also really cool.
I'm probably what I'll do is I think I'll just go through and like I'll look at a bunch of pictures of ones. Maybe I'll even go through some of the old white dwarfs, you know what I mean, with the Titan Legios in there and just kind of see what piques my interest with that.
Yeah, so like the actual saying that because some of the old schemes have been redone.
Yeah.
Uh, so the original Mortis scheme from the old AT and White Dwarfs is now belongs to a legio called Legion Interfector, who are the murder lords.
Okay.
They're traitors, obviously, and they're just like black with red trim. You know, that's it. simple.
Yeah.
And their thing is that their Titans are mad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did the Titans like themselves. The Titans have like a machine spirits, like
Yeah.
war spirits. So they have a character about them, and they didn't want to go traitor, but all their princeps did,
Oh,
and
yeah.
being forced against their will just drove them mad.
Mm-hmm.
So they have interesting quirks.
The old Grimdark.
Yeah,
Do you
then dark.
role play tonight?
I think so. I'm not sure. I think one of my friends said he couldn't make it. I'm not sure if the other guys. I have not really been on social media today at all. So or anything really. So
Yeah, good. You
um,
need a break sometimes.
yeah, I was just getting a little bit, a little bit burnout. So
Yeah.
I just saying that the other day, I just signed back up with a WhatsApp group for the with the Titans Owners Club because they've announced their latest walk.
I saw that. I tweeted that one out. I retweeted your tweet with it because something about it. I know only through you, like the Titan Owners Club. I just love it because it is literally like some car owners club because it's like these expensive, like awesome, things or whatever. So I always got a kick
Oh,
out of that.
totally. Yeah, so that's happening in August, weekend of the 21st. I'm officially not going.
You're officially
Because,
not going?
yeah, officially I'm not going because August is a really hard month for me to get time off and
Gotcha.
basically, I've got lots of things to deal with
Yeah.
where I can't just like say, oh, I'm having a weekend off because I've got obviously with my children,
Yeah.
my girlfriend, and
Actual responsibilities?
yeah. So August is one of those months that is really hard, full stop. Generally, unofficially, I was going to go down there on the Saturday. Um, so whether or not I'll be playing, because at the moment there's a lot of loyalists. There's more loyalists than there are traitors. Which because one of the other main guys, Leiden Proctor, who has about 10 Titans, because he's getting married this year, he can't
Yeah.
go basically. So so he's had to drop out, but they're hopefully going to get some more guys. I think Rob's going down as with the traitors. Marty, I was waiting for the unofficially to drop.
For sure.
So yeah, it's basically, as I said, whether or not I'll be playing is one thing, but I'll definitely turn up on the Saturday, and even if it's just to say hi to everyone
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have photos with the Titans, because that's the whole thing, really.
For
Just
sure.
you always get the Titans out on display, get some nice photographs, and there's more Titans this year as well. So
I know, and
getting
I
out.
figured, see, I guess in my heart, I'm sort of a loyalist, but then I assume most people probably play loyalists, like at least in Titans. I don't know why I think more people would play Titan loyalists than Chaos Titans. Is that true or no? Am I just making up stuff? Am I spreading false news, fake news? Am I part of the problem?
It, it might just be like locations of people, basically. Like
Yeah, true.
again, like with the traitors, my friend Martin, who's one of the co like dudes of
Yeah.
Titans Only Club, he plays Legio Tempestus, who are the Stormlords who are featured in Mechanicum.
Okay.
But he's a loyalist. But for the last couple of walks, he's had to play Tempestus as traitors because of the difference in numbers.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Why? Because there are so many people out there that have sort of traitor Titans and all that. It's just whether or not they can actually make it to the events and that.
Yeah, timing and all that involves. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so Rob's having to play his Solaria as traitor. So that was one of the
Oh,
things I
so
saw.
okay, Rob is going too.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
I found that out because he joined the event WhatsApp
oh, good, good, good.
group, and
Yeah, okay.
he's going there.
There's going to be a lot of pictures around, right? Because I am going to want to see that. I want some of it because that's cool.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yeah, we normally get a professional photographer down. So, like,
Oh
I
yeah,
seen
nothing but
last
the
year, it was
best for the
actually the year
Titan Owners
before.
Club. They don't mess
Yeah,
around. Yeah.
yeah. So, like the picture that you were sharing is actually my mate Phil's Titan that he's recently painted.
Okay.
You remember when last week when the stream crashed when Engine Phil turned up?
Yeah, they do
That's his
actually.
Titan.
Uh, okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, he's done a really great job with that one. He's taken his time with it, and he's a really good painter. I'm glad he's not actually viewing because I don't like to put a lot of praise on Phil because you have to keep his ego suppressed. But no, he's a really nice guy, and he's done an excellent job with that Legion Metallica. I'm still a little bit sore because I actually gifted him a kill
Oh
because at the last event, like on the Saturday, he got his first attacks off, and he got a Titan down to one health, like one hit point,
yeah.
and the guy next to him killed it, sort of thing. So he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I've done all the hard work," and I was just trying to explain to him, it's like, sometimes you have to, do that. You have to, you know, put that extra effort in for the team. For the, we're all
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Take one for the team. That's what
But
we we always called that getting the gravy. So like when
yeah,
someone puts in all the work and then you just come in and snag the kill, you get the gravy.
yeah. So on the Sunday when we were playing, like he done a lot of damage, but he didn't get any kills on the Saturday. So on
Yeah.
the Sunday we were playing, and I wasn't paying much attention to the kills that he was getting, and
Yeah.
then I basically my two warhounds, which I think are the MVP. Well, one of them was the MVP because he killed 5 Titans on his own. Um,
Seriously? That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. A Tacit Venatrix killed um, a Warlord, 4 Reavers, and a Warhound. I think he got one of each sort of type in that. Yeah, although technically I did get another 3 kills because I've managed to wrangle it. That it was I got the kill for my mate Matt Wingrove's epics. Um, he basically went into meltdown on a repair roll, but
Oh, gotcha. So you did, yeah, yeah.
I put him into a position where he would go meltdown because in the second turn in the first fire phase, I shot him in the face with my Titan, and where he was trying to save shields, you have to roll the reactor dice, and
Yep.
he rolled 2 on the reactor dice, so he put him into the red, so he put him into danger. So when it came round to doing the repair roll, he was in the red, and he rolled badly, and then next minute he was in meltdown and blew up, killing 2 other Titans.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
so I claimed the kill because if I hadn't shot him,
I
he
think
wouldn't
I
have.
think that counts, and like I don't know how they would do it in some tournament or whatever. Like I think that to me that counts because you
Yeah,
forced all the damage that they're trying to repair, and then it went
yeah,
awry. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that's
yeah.
a
But I
kill.
put his reactor up. I dropped his shield and shot him in the face for his.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he blew up.
How
So
big? I mean, okay, it must be a big explosion when one of their reactors go. If you can kill 2 other Titans with it.
yeah, well, basically, it was a Warbringer Titan. So they're size 9. So
Okay.
you have the size in inches, and depending on
Uh,
how high your reactor is, that adds to the distance. So
makes sense.
I think he carried 9 inches, but in in 28 mil, we have to times everything by 4, so that's 36 inches. So it's
Oh
basically three
gosh.
foot with either side. So, or no, 3 foot disc around him, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. He damaged a couple and killed a few others. So yeah, I think it's legit that I can claim that.
Good deal.
Yeah. So as I get back to Engine Phil, on one of the closing parts, there was this warlord, which was my warhounds had gotten round behind it. My first one had fired, removed its shields, and then shot it and damaged it. And then because they're a squadron, you have to resolve their firing all at the same time, basically.
Okay.
But Phil said, "Oh, can I shoot it?" And I thought, "Oh yeah, he had a bad time of it, sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, go for it, sort of thing."
Mm-hmm.
And so he shot it and he's killed it, sort of thing. So he got the engine kill. And then I found out that he'd been killing other Titans that I hadn't known about. So he basically ended up like only like one kill or two kills after me. I'm
Yeah, he
like,
was sandbagging. Good job. Good job.
yeah, so he stole a kill from me. So I was like, what? I was, I didn't have to give you that. I was feeling bad for you. I thought you'd only had one kill.
See, that's why I'm familiar enough with those games where I know a kind of a Titan fighting game like that. It's my kind of I like that. It's the bigger scale where you're not just removing units. I mean, it's almost the same principle, but you know what I mean. You have damage to
Yeah.
take care of, and the heat sinks and like that. You're trying to keep it alive. Miniature apothecary, thanks for making it.
Hey there,
Good
Matt.
evening. You've been busy. Miniature apothecary. I've seen him all over now. He's all kinds of stuff going on. There's quite a few people who are making a ruckus out there in the hobby world, and Apothecary is one of them.
Oh yes, he's a lovely bloke, and he's out there spreading the happiness and joy and
Uh,
goodwill, and looking after people and their emotional and mental health as well.
it's not a bad idea. Like, it's just not a bad idea these days, especially the whole pandemic and everything. It's like, man, life is tough out there right now.
Oh, absolutely. But so Matt's been going out there and spreading the good apothecary's work. Um,
And he's all, I like what I don't get. I think of like I'm working hard at this stuff, and then I see these other people, and I'm like, wait, I know how much effort it takes to like a video thing or put out something, and then like just whatever you're doing, the time it takes to tweet and promote and all that. And I see so many people putting in so much work. It's kind of like impressive, I'm like like it's and a lot of it is their hobby. Like mine, it's kind of it worked itself into a job or whatever. But that's a lot of time and effort and stuff everyone puts into these projects, and it like doesn't let up. You keep seeing everyone, people like starting their podcast with different stuff and like painting, and that's a lot of hours worth of work, man.
oh, definitely. Oh, Crystal. Hi, Crystal. Was dropped in. Was
Crystal, thanks for making it.
supporting the military apothecary.
Yep.
Is again she's a purveyor of squeaks and all
Oh,
things talky.
wait, I think
Um,
I know. On Twitter, is this what?
yeah.
Then I think I know who it is because I think there's a background. They had a picture of a bunch of squigs on a really cool like
Yeah.
a diorama or whatever. But okay, is that the one? And they were,
That'll be Crystal. Yeah.
yeah, that was
But
great. A lot of cool like colors and stuff in that. Well, thanks for stopping by to say hi. I appreciate that.
yeah,
But yeah, I really want
I
to.
dropped into her Twitch a couple of times recently, and I came away thinking, oh, I fancy painting orcs. So
Yeah.
I sort of got infected by greenskins and stuff. But it's really good little show. Same as like with Matt's miniature apothecary show sort of thing. Great crowd there, and the chat is always fun as well. So definitely
Yeah,
worth it.
like I know, and I try to learn stuff. Like I said, that like I look around and see kind of what people are doing and what they like. Because I don't know, like especially on YouTube, right? So I do like a lot of the time lapse videos, which some people get, but like I'm trying to start thinking of ideas for a little bit, not like branching out, but stick in my wheelhouse, but like more content that is like in the 10-minute range and stuff like that. So I've been trying to put some thought into that.
Hmm.
Got more. Crystal says you got more orcs for my
Oh yeah, happy
birthday.
birthday, Crystal.
Yeah. I've
Yes,
corrupted quite a few to the fungi way. Fungi. The fungi.
yes. No, it's a good way, and I absolutely love her squigs because they're just so. It makes me happy to look at them. It's just like nice and
Yeah.
bright and vibrant sort of thing. Um, so it sort of reminds me a little bit of like Louise Sugden's with her sort
Yeah.
of hawks and
Well,
squigs.
I think
It's nice
it's the
to see.
same. I'm kind of the same way because it's weird. I love the really like dull, muted look, right? So like a lot of it just like it's been there and stuff is rusted. But then like something about, and maybe it's just the color, and it's kind of the same reason like I color these all bright. So when people paint them in like almost like that 90s style, it was like real nice and bright or whatever, I kind of end up doing paint overs that way, with all the colors for the pop and everything. So
Happy murder
happy
balls.
happy murder balls. I haven't heard that name for them, but I think it's perfect.
That's the thing is like there's certain things within like 40k and all the things where just adding like a descriptive with murder before it. So like
Yeah.
um, the Acastus Knights, like similar to the Porphyrions, where they're all called murder turtles. Murder balls. I'm a big fan of the phrase was it the murder hobo, which I think I'm pulling off that look quite well at the moment.
Murder hobo.
Yes, great stuff. Yes, especially the old squig.
And so
Yeah,
wait,
no.
when is the Titan get together? What weekend?
August the 21st and 22nd.
Okay.
It's I've got to ask us like because for the last walk I was associated with the sort of running on it because I was part of the Facebook team because there used to be two Titan owners clubs. There was a Facebook
Okay.
one which was set up by one guy, and then you had this blog that was set up by some other guys. And eventually they sort of merged, and I was like, I'm just here, and like
Yeah.
stuck around, and they kept me around. But for the last one, I actually wrote up like a little story of the event, sort of thing, like what was happening, why people
Yep.
were there, and all that sort of thing, and like named all the like the planet and the city where the battle was taken out, and just done a little bit of background fluff
Yeah.
work, which I like doing that anyway. So I did all that, and Matt Wingrove, who's like the head guy, he
Yep.
Lydon Proctor, who I mentioned earlier, got onto the guys at Forge World, like Will Hayes, who's like one of the designers of Titans and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as a little like thank you thing, they Forge World actually made done one of the pictures of the Arriva Titan, but based it off of his paint scheme. And they got Anuch, who was one of the rules writers and background writers for the Heresy. He wrote up a little blurb about this Titan called Death Knell, and said how he had been destroyed at the Battle of Kyton Nova, although the Princeps survived via ejection and all that sort of stuff. And they presented it to him at it was like a little sort of event that was held at Warhammer World.
Okay.
So I was up there for the Tyrannosaurus Club, where we set the record for the most knights from one household and most knights ever gathered together, with like 305 knights.
Oh my gosh.
That was impressive. But then there was loads of people there turned up with their Titans as well. It was all on display in the gaming hall, and Will Hayes came down and presented Matt with this, framed artwork of his
Yeah.
Titan with that stuff on there, and it was just like and he's such a nice guy as well. So he deserved it for all the work he puts into everything. And but I was like really happy for him, but then I was really happy for myself because Anuch had used like my fluff that I'd written. So it's just like, and
Crystal
plus
asked
that
if
was one of the
there
types
were
I killed as
pictures.
well.
Are there pictures? And okay, wait. The Stampa, an orc Stampa, isn't that the Gargant? What? How do you say it? What is it?
Gargant,
Is that what the
yeah.
Stampa is? A Gargant, right?
It's a mini Gargant. So Stomper is like an Imperial Knight version of a Gargant.
Oh,
Gargant's
okay, okay.
the
That's what I was
Titan,
like. So which
and
this is that one I showed earlier. This thing. This is not a Stomper, is it? Or is it? Wait. Hang on. Where was that thing? This one.
yeah, that's a Stomper.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're quite a big sort of unit for orcs. They are like the Imperial Knights of orcs.
Okay. And this one, this has got to be 40K size, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I love these things. These are so cool. Not a lot of, you know, who has one? They hang out in Discord, Almiriad, and painted a really cool one that I gotta do. He has it's like all nice and yellow and kind of bright or whatever. And one day I gotta paint that over for him. Oh yeah, Martin. So Martin went and checked out Crystal and Squigs, and they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the
You
right one. I
you'll never be
remember those.
disappointed with checking out the squigs.
Who
they
did
are,
what is it? Mouse bait? I always forget her
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Yeah, she did. She put springs on some feet of the squigs, and it looked really cool. And I don't know where those pictures were, but I remember she had springs and some of them springing around, and I was like, okay, that is so orky. It's ridiculous. I loved it. Squigs are a lot. Oh yeah, Martin Squigs. Martin Squigs are in White Dwarf 465 this month. So make sure you pick up White Dwarf to see Martin the Great Potato Mage's Squigs.
I'll just say, if Crystal paints her Stomper, does it count? But for the Titan walks, I think you can join the Titans Owners Club with Stompers. They do have Xenos pages within the blog because with the Titans Owners Club, it is all sort of like official Forge World and GW stuff that they have in there, sort of thing. So normally you have to provide like your especially with the Titans because you get the little certificates and they have like little numbers on it, so you have to
Oh,
provide
that's cool.
that sort of thing. But yeah, I do believe, Crystal, that they do actually have Xenos set up. So I know I've seen some Elder sort of Titans on there. So I'm assuming Orc Stompers would also be welcomed. I know that a couple of guys in charge are also closet Orc fans as well. So I can't see it being a problem. So yeah, get that all painted up. Just DM me and I'll look
They
into it and find out for you for sure in that.
I bet you they will. It seems like Titanicus is popular, and I bet you sooner or later they will like kind of slowly roll out some orc stuff or whatever. I'll be curious.
They will, but with the way they operate, like Forge World and stuff, it's not going to be soon.
No,
And
oh no, it'll be like what 4 years from now, 3 years, something.
I'd say at least that, yeah,
Yeah,
because obviously it's getting all these other games. They've got so many games juggling around.
yeah.
Obviously, specialist games have their own little department now, and they've got
Mhm.
their own staff and stuff. So they're not like being nabbed from other departments. They've got their own teams, but it's a juggling act because they've got to keep the other games supported. So you've got to have new stuff coming out for that.
Yeah.
But then, if you're going to be introducing sort of Orc Titans and like Elder Titans and stuff
Good night,
into
Miniature
the.
Apothecary. Thanks for making it.
I'll see you later, Matt. Um, yeah, if you're bringing that in, there's going to be a whole lot of like play testing to be done because it's the balancing side of things. Because
Oh yeah.
BT at the moment is fairly balanced because it's the same thing on either side.
Yeah.
You once you start putting in like Eldar and
More units, more problems.
special rules and stuff like that, that's when you can start getting sort of things crop up where you don't realize. And that's the thing, sometimes playtesting doesn't show these things.
No, yeah, you gotta
You,
play a
you give
lot.
it to the greater public and they'll find ways of doing stuff.
Breaking
But
it.
it would be cool to have sort of orcs and Eldar sort of in there
In
because
due
obviously
time, and only
originally
if
they
they do
were.
it. Like when you have a good game, you don't want it messed up by something like that either. You know what I mean? Like, because you're right in that I still can't believe how much Necromunda stuff they're putting out. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like specialist games. I thought like, oh, they're gonna do release, and like last time it's now they just put out so many more units. They put out a lot of content. I don't even know how many. I would be interested in like a year's time, how many new models does GW put out? Like, I'd be real curious. Like, even if you start like this year, how many models like came out, individual ones? It's got to be a lot.
Mm. Oh, that's the thing. Like they've been pretty consistent throughout with everything. Even though, like pandemic and that, they've still been
Mm-hmm.
releasing new armies and obviously new games, box sets and stuff like that. So obviously it has been affected, but um, they have still been sort of like keeping up to speed as best they can in the circumstances.
Yeah, that's like
But yeah.
that's like Mantic. Like they've been growing, and they're. I didn't even show it on the one stream. I gotta get more pictures. They have some really cool halflings coming out. That's what they did. They did a halfling army. They did some great, like really good sculpts of these riders on like dogs and stuff. It was pretty intense. And so I
Mm.
know like they got a lot of stuff going on. So it just looks like overall, man, it probably because everyone was locked inside or whatever, but there's a lot of good gaming content coming out.
Yeah, so it's all good. As I said to new collectors and hobbyists alike. So I think you should be able to find something that really appeals to you. Um, and say like apart from see, mostly being GW centric and Forge World
Yep.
centric with sort of collections, there was that the Oathsworn, the little
Yeah.
animal uh, soldiers and stuff that I done, which were really cool.
I've seen
Um,
quite a few people like mention Oathsworn and stuff. I've
mm,
seen that name like quite a few times. I know Adriatis, who is in the Discord with us, he does quite a few things with Oathsworn and that.
yeah, Electric Eve as well. She's done a load of stuff. She's actually doing something else at the moment. I can't remember the name of the company that she's doing, like painting up these little like animal
Yeah.
characters.
Oh, yeah, and I know I've seen those before too, so I know exactly which ones you're talking to.
Which is all
Yeah,
good.
Rob said gaming industry has been explosive growth over the last year and a half. I wish I bought some shares. What I keep thinking of is getting shares in the stuff to make resin, like for 3D printers and all that. Because I'm like, dude, that's not going away. Like all the companies that like even the material used to make the resin and everything. I'm like, oh, go buy some stock in that stuff because resin, the need for resin isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, isn't it? With resin, it's that's been a shortage with like raw materials
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. I just realised as we're talking, I'm gluing legs.
Oh, look at you getting some work done. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that one time. You got to work on this stream. See, it's good. That's you're doing. We're gonna figure that out. How we
but
can. We'll show
yeah,
you getting a little. That it is interesting. I'll watch yours. I swing by quite a few. Like I'll swing by apothecaries. I'll swing by. Who they got it? Lonely Havoc and
Oh
Hobby
yeah,
Vices. Yeah, they got theirs going. They're hitting it hard, and
mm.
they got. I like how they're doing their stuff. They have like the little like dueling paint off for an hour and all that stuff, and a lot of bells and whistles. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
looking
I
on.
still haven't gone to. I keep on meaning to watch it, but I think because they are they
You're
start
like it's like you'd have to be
US
waking up at
time,
like
don't they?
3 a.m. or something.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to actually like view one of their sort of things. Cause,
Yeah, so I kind of see theirs will probably keep getting more and more popular and all that because they got a good thing going with that.
hmm. Yeah, so Lonely Havoc's a cool guy, and so is Hobby Vices. So they've got their followers already, but obviously
Yeah.
there are more because they are getting two of them together. It's only going to add to the whole
Hmm.
experience and stuff. But yeah, no, it's definitely something I want to be checking out at some stage. But like you, I drop into Matt every now and again. Um, and Crystal I drop into as well.
I haven't
Um,
I haven't dropped into crystals yet. I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't know
I think
that
like
her
on
was
weekends, she does it like throughout the week, but
okay.
I've only like seen her on like whilst I've been at work or something. I
Yeah,
sort of like
yeah.
just pop in whilst I'm at lunch or something. She does it quite early, but yeah, so definitely check her out. She's on Twitch
Okay.
with her streams.
Good.
So
Someone who does it early like I do.
yeah, class. It's all good. So it's a good community, as we've said loads of times before. There's a great community out there. Some really good hobbyists.
Yeah, it really is. There's literally, and what I was thinking about is I was like, I think because of how this hobby is, it collects an inordinate amount of talent, it seems.
Mm,
Because I think you'll get people who are like whatever, like really talented with like knowing the lore and who are super into it. You'll get people who are great with the math of the combat. You'll get people who are brilliant at painting the miniatures. And I think it's kind of unlike some other hobbies just because of that. Like if you just do sports, okay, it's like you're going to get a lot of people who are like athletic and maybe have some interest, but it's not like a lot of them like, oh, I take pictures at the sporting events of the athletes and I'm really good at photography. It's more like just very specific, and I think this one draws a lot of people in who have like a huge varying skill set. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I just think it seems so. Oh wait, what did Crystal say? I
there
usually
you go.
stream 7:30 p.m. BST and then 11 to 3 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Good to
Yeah.
know. I will have to swing by one.
So that's where a lot, the last couple of times has been on the weekends whilst I've been at work, and you say I'm having my sandwiches.
Yeah, I want to check out to see how some of those squigs get done.
But she does obviously paint other green
Oh
screens
well,
and
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, she probably have a million things,
she
but
doesn't max out on the squeaks, but like she teases with the squeaks, and then like she'll do big squeaks and little squeaks, and then other orky things. So there's a whole plethora of greenish stuff.
I think I'll leave this one. That looks good. Dun, dun,
Oh
dun.
wow, she's painting a gold non-metallic metal one at the moment. Bloody hell!
Oh, really? That's got to be
Mm.
kind of cool. Rob Walters asked, "What name you streaming under, Crystal Lynn? Crystal Ann? I don't know. I'm so bad with names. That's why I shouldn't even have a YouTube. I just come off dumb. I can't pronounce anything.
You've done all right. I say because I think it's just um, it is the
Oh, there
name
it
to get.
is. This is what she's under on Twitch. So that's her Twitch name. If anyone wants to go check that out." Extra stream of it tomorrow, 12 to 4. Maybe I'll try to make that one. I got to clean the sty I have going on in my art studio. I got to clean a bunch of stuff. This is getting a little. Ridiculous. I've been getting all my commissions done, so I'm like, I focus on that, like get that commission done and like work on it. And you can't. I don't like to force. Like I've been taking a little while on this one because some of it you just have to see it. Like it has to soak into my brain. Like, hey, this is right or this is wrong. So I can't like really rush it. I don't like to just hey get it done. I want someone to get something that they're really happy with.
Oh yeah, totally. There's leg sections done for you.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Wait, what? That's number 100 you're working on.
Yeah.
So this is a
So
historic moment. We should have been. I should have been pumping this all up. That this is the historic number 100.
well,
Wait,
you
you're
did
gonna
know
zoom in.
I was
I'm
going to be
zooming
doing
in
this.
on this. You got to get a special 100 zoom in because this is a rare historical moment. That's part of the 100th Titan of Lee's being assembled. Exactly. We're gonna clip this out and make its own little YouTube video about the 100th Titan for Lee. So there you
No, no, no.
go.
What I want you to do, right? Okay, no, right. You've got to screen cap it, right? It's on a white background,
Yeah.
and over its legs.
That's a good. And paint over just the legs. That'd be funny.
But yeah, so with when I do these, I just obviously cut off the because they have like little nubs, so you go into fixed positions. So I cut the nubs off, so it allows me to maneuver. So when I get the base done, I can put the legs into different positions to make it more dynamic because the kit is amazing because it has like individual toes for one.
Oh, that is crazy. I know. That's what makes it so. Yeah.
Yeah. So and like feet with multi toes on it, just like such. Who'd have thought that it would bring so much happiness to the hobbyists? But yeah, so once I get the base done, which I'm gonna do at some point. As I said, I was in such a weird mood earlier on today to get on to actually building stuff because that was what I was hopefully going to do today. Fit out the bathroom floor and then do some hobby. But I was just like a wet fart in a bag.
That's what I was. I was like just drained today, and that is one thing I'm like. It makes me happy is that even talking to you, like in this interaction, it does get me. It like changes, shifts my mood. You know what I mean? People come in, you're talking about this, you kind of forget that you're for the day or whatever. So that's like it's a good thing. Oh, and what's funny, I gotta show you, Lee, one day. Martin got a bunch of American snacks. So he survived diabetes so far, but 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 it could be closing it on him because he got like the sodas, he got like Pop Tarts, he got these Kit Kats, he got this picture of all this stuff, and I'm like, oh.
No, yeah, as I said, you're gonna have to send me your address so I can send you over some of our stuff because after doing those American sweets a couple of weeks back, because like those was it Warheads and the Sour Patch stuff, and I'm like, this is nothing. This is nothing compared to what we have. Like, I'm sure if I sent that to you, you would get raided by the FBI because it's just like that's too intense a flavor for you, boy.
That's too sour.
Yeah, you can't have that. You can't handle that.
You broke the sour import rules. You can't handle that.
You can't handle this level. This is European. Man. This is European grade A shit.
Yeah. You can't import that Euro sourness.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, that's the whole thing like that. That and the chocolate like that. There's such a difference between our chocolate, your chocolate, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's going on here? Rob's followed Crystal already. Good lad. Need some new ideas for my Squeakquel band. I have a war cry band, but I am thinking of an entire Squeak Upper army. Going back to what you were saying earlier on about just having like little Terebium, and all those sort of things. I had one friend who wanted to have a whole army of Rippers, Tyrannid Rippers, There's a little like swarms of little teeth going,
What you
and
call it?
eating everything.
Mechanical Frog. He was working on. What do you say he was working on? He was working on a video.
Crystal.
Mechanical Frog was working on a video, but he's like, how it was like how to start doing, I think, ad mech. And I have some ad mech that I want to do. I bought the miniatures. I've been sitting on them because that was surprising to me that I got kind of pulled away from like Space Marines as far as like coming back. And when I saw them, I was like, oh, those are really cool. Like I just like something about them, and my mind like just all the possibilities because they're basically half mechanicals. You can do whatever you want to them. You know what I mean? And in the Iron Striders, I love the look of those Iron Striders models. I bought one of those. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's still in the box. I'm like, I love that Iron Strider. It looks so cool.
Because I remember telling you about the Iron Striders that they are a perpetual motion. Once they start, they can't stop. So it's just like, well, okay, if they can't stop, what do they do with them? It's like, do they have like a corral, like a circular corral?
They just run in a circle.
Walk around it continuously because they can't stop the engines because of perpetual motion. Or they have running machines, which then help.
That would be it'd be kind of a funny GIF or something, like have them running around in this huge pen.
It's like they like run like ostriches.
Yeah.
Like, you see these like Iron Striders going
like they're just waiting for their next fight, and it's a long ways off.
Yeah, just call them back, bring them back in.
Back.
Rob has a massive snotling army, 400 models of pure snot.
So Mechanical Frog, I know he started his YouTube, so he's going through some units to pick, discussion of the rule of cool versus competitive versus hobbying, units to avoid if a beginner, etc. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Everyone's doing that. And what's funny is I would almost think you're at some like, saturation point or something, but I see a lot of people who kind of just started and consistently grow. Like there's an appetite for a lot of that content. You know what I mean? I'm like, they're still like looking at stuff and everything. So that's a good sign.
Oh, totally. With the whole sort of like army building side of things, I always I try to think outside of the box. I try to avoid doing all like the real popular sort of models and stuff like, these ones are like the ones you've got to have sort of thing. So I always try to avoid them. It's just to, be different.
Yeah. Oh, I'm out of layers on that.
Yeah, Crystal's pushing the Trogloffs now. That's the thing. Is like, I'm the Titan pusher. She's the Squig pusher. Squig and Orcs and all things associated. That's the thing is when you get people that enjoy what they enjoy, and then you get talking, that's it. We just let loose, and then next minute you've got boxes of this stuff. You have no idea what you
do. For real. And I see piles, and I'm like, oh my god! You start adding up how much money it all costs in someone's pile. It's like, wow, that is like a bunch of bucks sitting right there.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. So you get that little
whatever, man.
Endorphin rush.
Yeah.
Fungi. Ross. Yeah. So do I, Crystal. I was actually on the way home from work. I popped into Wayland Games to pick up some. I went in there for Agrax, and I thought I might need a few other paints and stuff. And I've walked in and immediately stopped by the Adeptus Titanicus display. I'm just like,
addict.
I could get myself another Warbringer Titan. I could just take that box with me and paints sort of thing. But I thought, no, Lee, no.
Crystal said, luckily I got my partner into it, so he enables me. Yeah, see, but good job on getting that, because you need a good enabler for a hobby like this. So.
I've said before where I have like my friends sort of messaging me going like, I'm really thinking about getting this particular model, but I'm not sure. And I just reply back, you've really asked the wrong person
Yeah, just get it.
to give you sort of like a balanced opinion, because I'm just going to say buy it.
Yeah, for real.
Just do it. You want it, you get it.
Wait, what was the name of the Titanicus box set? And of course, because of my crummy memory, what was the one you suggested if I could get it?
The precept.
It is the precept. Okay, so I thought it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to hit a couple of spots, and I'm going to be looking for it.
It's going to be really hard to find. You might find it in America. You might have more luck over there.
No, and that's what I'm looking for, because I'm like, there's sometimes there's like obscure little hobby spots and whatever that I'll just have it because, you know.
I did that with the last Titan box set. I went around and I literally Googled it and then just went through every Google entry.
Yeah.
And then I picked one that had one in stock. So bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The Precept Maniple, Martin says he has one on his shelf. Yeah. Martin. Of course you do.
I've got 2 empty boxes.
And it's still in
the partially full one.
Yeah. Yeah, Mechanical Frog says, as far as vices go, plastic toys are rather benign. Totally.
Yeah. There's a lot worse stuff, resin and plastic crack.
I mean, even
I think the street value is getting up there now.
It's gotta be. They'll be at some point. They'll be remelting them for resin or something.
Just go back in. And just it's a circle of life.
We need more resin. Melt it down.
You're just like sitting there smoking something. You go, this used to be a Titan.
Well, we found a better use. I mean, but if you think about it, like right now, I mean, if you go to like, I don't know what a bar is there, but if you go to some like, quote unquote decent bar here and have some drinks or whatever, you'd be like paying like $10 a drink or whatever. You know what I mean? You have 3 or 4 and there's a box of something. So what, and drinking, it's all gone right then anyway. At least with a piece of plastic, you can look at it unassembled and think one day. The box, it sits there unassembled and you stare at it.
Yeah, there's definitely something I have thought about as well in the past where, I've gone out and you think, wow, I've been out on a night out and I've just blown so much money on buying. Yeah. I'm obviously, imagine me, but drunk. I'm like me, but magnified sort of thing. And I'm a very cuddly person as well. I love, I'm a happy drunk. Generally.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll give everyone, I love everyone and all that sort of stuff. And yes, that would be dangerous because like I look at my sort of like your wallet, you go, I had a lot of money in there last night. It's not there anymore. And all you've got to pay for it is a couple of visits to the toilet during the night.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go on a hobby expedition, as I like to call it, next minute you've got boxes of happiness.
That's why I was buying that for Mechanical Frog. I got him that one model from Mantic. It hasn't come in yet, but I paid for it. I'm like, it's like, since I have like no hobby time, it almost counts as hobby time for me. It's just your picture right now with the beer.
Yeah, well, Crystal was just saying there about having a beer at home.
I should. Yeah, apparently, what am I? I drink Stella here, so I'm like a ruffian over there, ain't I, or something? I'm like lowbrow? Yeah, so I'm like a European lowbrow, dude, because I like Stella.
You say that, right? This is. It used to be there was a brand of lager in the sort of like 80s, 90s called Special Brew, which you'd normally associate with alcoholics and sort of people living like on the street, like hobos and stuff like that. Because you see them, and I saw last weekend, I was leaving work early to do an estimate before going into work. I had to go to a
Gotcha.
place called Cheshunt to do an estimate, which is near to where I work. So I
Yeah.
had to leave home early to get there, and because it's like an hour drive from where I live, and I just turned onto like this road, like main road, and I saw this guy at I think like 7:30 in the morning drinking like a Stella. I'm like, wow, that's that's hardcore. If you're drinking
Yeah.
Stella at 7:30 in the morning, and he looked like one of those guys who was waiting to be picked up to go to work, like a road builder type.
Crystal, we're not on probably not too much longer. We'll probably be wrapping up shortly. But this is a good chat. Like this is just a good chat. I'm enjoying this one with everyone talking about stuff, and I needed the energy, so this will energize me a little. I can already tell I'm like more like whatever, just more awake and a little more. So I'll end up working
Yes,
some more
yes,
tonight.
Cheshunt. Yeah,
Yeah.
I work in Harlow, but I live on the other side of Essex. Like
See,
I go across the entire county to go to work.
this is cool that I talk to more UK people because then when I do the AE World Tour, I'll know some good like spots over there to go to. I got to get
Yeah,
some.
you may even pronounce some of the town names right as well.
All I know is what Essex. What are the other what? Like I know some of them. Nottingham. How do you not know Nottingham? So there.
Yeah, you
I'm
don't pronounce the ham. Zum. You pronounce it So it's Notting
Oh, see, I don't even know how to pronounce them. I should watch my mouth when I say I know how to pronounce something. You say
But
it?
that's the thing. Is like, we say like, I went over to America, and this guy comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, do you know Dave from Birmingham?" And you
Yeah.
go, "Oh yeah, tall guy."
Birmingham.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you'll say like Birmingham.
that's it, Birmingham or
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Okay, see, we say ham on it all. So because
Yeah,
we have a Birmingham here, and we're like Birmingham, so we're hammy. Nottingham, Nottingham. See, I can't even pronounce it. So apparently, I'm screwed when I go over there again.
yeah. Marquee Models is one of my other places I used to visit as well before going into work, because on a Sunday they'd get there a couple of minutes early. So because I'm the only one, I'm the key holder on the Sunday. I would go there,
Mm-hmm.
read some stuff, and then turn up to work late because I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Keith, who runs it, he's a really nice guy. And again, it's one of those friendly little game stores where you can find stuff.
Yeah. How is driving or traffic wherever kind of you're at? Like, if you drive for an hour, can you get pretty damn far or no? Like you know what I mean? What was that?
That was me sort of like laughing. No, you can do and you cannot do at times. Like where I am, I'm on virtually on top of one of them, like two. I'm in between two of the major sort of roads in Essex, the
Okay.
A13 and the A127. But where I am, I can go all all ways of Essex from where I am. I'm like some sort of like fulcrum point.
Okay.
Um, but I normally go via this like place called Chelmsford, which is a really old, it was like a Roman town. Um,
Yeah.
and I can go via there to get to the other side of Essex. I can go via the hell spawn that is the M25, which is
Okay.
the circular road motorway around London, the London
Yeah. Because I was to London, but like total like just stayed in that area and that so I haven't like toured around or been much around the UK.
Hmm. Well, let's say you can, like the M25. You need to get onto the M25 anyway for most things. If you're in London or around it, you need to go on it to get to other places easier. But the traffic situation has lessened over the years. It's gotten a little bit more easier, but there's always something
Yeah.
where people don't realise how to drive properly in certain weather conditions and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's just a case of I can get to Nottingham Probably I'd say about 2 hours 40, 2 hours 45.
Okay.
Depending if I stop. I don't have brakes. I just keep going.
Go.
Keep going. But yeah, you say you can get to most places easy enough because compared to the States, we are small.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
that's what because I was talking like a couple of friends in Europe, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they were thinking like to them." And I don't, and it's probably just a personal thing. Like they thought like a 45-minute drive was long, but like here, like routinely, there's okay. So it probably takes me if I go to the closest GW, it's probably like 40 minutes, and it's like okay, that's like to me, it's a reasonable. It's not close, you know what I mean? You got to go drive and be oh, I got it's a 40-minute drive. Or like, I laugh because I'm in like Michigan and I will drive in my own state for over 10 hours to get way up north to like a little chunk of property up there. So you're like in you're just one state driving 10 hours. They're like, oh my gosh, I'll be like halfway across Europe in 10 hours.
Well, my boss went to Scotland last week to take his dad up to his roots up there, and that took him about 9 hours.
Okay.
So that was quite yeah. Well, where you are, you're virtually right near the sort of like A1 sort of. Well, you're nearer to the A1 than I am,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the M1. So yeah, you're in the prime position from where you are, Crystal. But yeah, you see, I've just got to come. I've got to get out of the Essex Badlands over into Hertfordshire, and then round to sort of Middlesex, and then up and away. Once you get to the M1, it is plain sailing sort of thing. It's like because you just open up the car and you just keep going. As
Yeah.
long as there's no slowdowns or anything or traffic. But yeah, it's a good. You
I
can get
like
to most places. You know, my friend Mark came over for a game I was hosting at Wayland, and he lives on the other side of Wales, and he made that in 4.5 hours.
okay. How
So
much from you where is Warhammer World? What
yeah.
where?
In the Netherlands,
How long does it take you to get there?
it would take me about 2 hours. I'd say about 2 hours 40,
Okay.
depending on traffic.
All right. That's
Actually,
okay.
I'm going to look up now. Whilst we're doing it, I'm going to look up on the maps. Warhammer World.
I should have went there. I did.
It's
It was a big
119 miles. No, sorry, no, it's 156 miles from me. 2 hours 45 minutes. Oh my god! Yeah, it's closed at the moment though.
yeah, it's getting there. When I went to London, I did go. It was I got a kick out of it because I went like I'm like I gotta go into a GW store in London. You know what I mean? Like when I'm in the UK, I have to go. And I stopped there, and I didn't know about this because I did a couple GW trading cards. I don't even know, like somewhere in the 2000s, and it was in that it was like the Horus Heresy. They had these bigger, tall, thin books, and they compiled a lot of the artwork. And I happened to pick one up, and what was funny is I literally found my artwork for the card was in that book. They mentioned it in the White Dwarf article, so I forget what book it is offhand. But it was just funny because I happened to be there, I happened to see that book, and happened to see my name in the artwork. You know what I mean, or whatever. And I was like, oh, so I picked it up in London. So I was like, oh, that was a cool just like little surprise thing. I liked it.
So yeah, Linton Lane. Yeah. Sorry, it was Crystal's checking from her location. But yeah, no, you're right about the M1. The M1 is a bit monotonous because there's not a lot going on. It's not an entertaining motorway.
Yeah.
A1 is a little bit riskier because it's mostly like it's not quite a motorway. It's actually an A road, so which is normally like only like dual carriageway, so 2 lane sort of thing for the most part. Um, but it does take you through some interesting sort of areas,
Yeah, because we
especially.
got there's a lot of roads here that are just like, especially. I mean, I can go. I'm kind of close to cities and suburbs and all that, but if I go further north, you start getting into areas where you can just drive. Like when I go way up north, I just love it because there's literally like no such thing as traffic. You can just meander all over the roads. You park. It's all like countryside and the lakes and all that. And I dig some of because America, you have a lot of room in certain spots. So especially like Middle America, where it's like a lot of farm country, you can just drive down roads and like no one's really around, or it's a leisurely drive type of thing.
Yeah, no, it's Oh, wait, what do you mean interesting exactly? I'm from just off the A1. Well, it's like the last time I drove on the A1 going to Warhammer World, it was at night in November and it was very dark. And I felt like I'd best not stray from the path in certain areas because there'd be werewolves out that night. But yeah, it's what's it? If you die if you just parked on a British country lane. Someone would rear end it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying it's it was. I just thought of something there. I was doing a driving course a few years back because I might have been speeding. And get told off, and you can pay a princely sum of £90 and do a day course on how to be a better driver. And to be honest with you, I did pick up a lot out of those courses.
Yeah.
But and I have changed my ways somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
um, although I did another course a couple of years after that first course, and that was due to the fact that I jumped a light. I thought, obviously, as I would always think, it was amber, but it doesn't matter. If it's amber, you got to be stopping. But they
Yeah.
have the speed cameras go after a set time, sort of thing, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
second and all that. So I was probably going a bit too fast whilst approaching the lights, and then when it changed, it's like that. Do I brake and stop in the middle of the junction, or do I just go for it?
Yeah, yeah. You caught in no man's land.
Yeah, but on this particular day, I remember going through the lights and actually going, ha 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 ha! See you later, suckers. I didn't see a flash or anything like that, and I was like, ha, ha, ha. And I did honestly, I swear on my life, I did say those exact words as I went through these lights, and then I got to do
That
another one.
karma got you.
Yeah, I was a bit too much there.
Live and
All right,
learn.
see you later, Crystal. Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, bye, Crystal. Thank you much. Good to see you back, Blood Angels Commander. We're going to be ending shortly. Glad you liked the sword. I'm going to be doing some more lighting. I'm going to put some more stuff in here. And, I got to still do a little lighting and stuff on that, but I'm digging it. I like these Blood Angels.
Oh,
Something a little different. Well, Lee, I
I
think
just
we
remembered.
should call it a day. We'll leave you to your
Well,
night.
yeah,
It's got to be getting
yeah,
late for you.
yeah. Well, the guys are already role playing.
Oh, you're in trouble. You better go, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
You'll
was
be getting
having
kicked
so
out of
much
the
fun.
group. Thanks. Loving the direction. Good, Blood Angels Commander. Appreciate you letting me know. I will have something to pass to you along. Appreciate everyone stopping by and hitting that like button and all that good stuff. So, Blood Angels Commander, I'm sure we'll be in contact soon. Lee, good to see you in the flesh. Shirt. Oh, we didn't. I broke the Dune news on your shirt or your show that it's like been delayed. So we'll come in under the wire with the Dune news that it's been delayed like 3 weeks or something for release. So that was
Yeah.
our Dune news for the day, our Dune news segment.
Yeah. Do, do, do,
Rob,
do, do, do,
appreciate.
do.
Yeah, Rob, thanks for making it over and good job on all your stuff. So, and I think that's it. I'm probably going to be on this Sunday. You're going to be on Saturday. Like now I know everyone, now I'm getting to know in the community, like everybody has like a show going on. So it's like you'd be fully booked. But that it's good because you don't always have the time to catch them on a specific time or date. So you can always make someone else's or check out what they're working on. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's all fun, isn't it?
And Mechanical Frog, so you sure you can't cram a few more Blood Angels in that picture? Dude, I want to. Trust me. I would probably jam I could see another like 5 to 10 getting in here. But it's literally a time thing. I'll be like taking more and more days doing it. And I'm pretty happy with it. So maybe I might try to get a couple more jetpackers in there up above somewhere. I think that's the only thing. I got to work with some stuff on the bottom here, and it has to get cropped because this is the size, and I don't need that part on the top or on the bottom right here. So I should start really checking the composition of that. It's kind of hard to do, like you're working on 3 different compositions in one, so got to make sure they work. All right,
Right.
everyone, you have a good evening. Lee, nice as usual, fun talking to you, and I am going to hit the end stream button, and bye for now.